Alright, so I assume just seal this top off, and then we can defend from this area. Oh, no, I meant the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Alright. The community of Deep Rock Galactic is a very healthy and pure one. With the game being in early access and new features coming very frequently, there's always this overall positive feeling of growth. Everyone is basking in the wonder of this already wonderful game, and the fact that it isn't even done yet is very promising, and it gets people thinking, what could come next? How could this game be better? What should be changed in future updates? People's minds begin to wander. Maybe a dedicated melee build could be possible someday, and maybe the ability to create pre-made classes so you don't have to remember every time you want to switch it up, like in PlanetSide 2. Maybe new color schemes for armor that you can choose regardless of armor model. Maybe the ability to mix and match traditional skins with mesh skins on your weapons, stuff like that. Sorry, I just really like cosmetics in this game. There's a glitch where that already happens. It's here in glitch 4, why can't we just make it a feature, man? Please? Deep Rock's community is always thinking of ways to change the game. Some ideas for the better, some for the worse. Today, though, we're talking about something quite controversial in the community of Deep Rock. Dare I say it, we're talking about bunkers. Now, what exactly is a bunker? If you play mostly Hazard 2s or 3s, you likely have never seen a bunker in use before. In missions where enemy count is as high as the potential rewards, like in Hazard 4s and 5s, they are much more common. A bunker is a player-made structure where a preferably long corridor is led into a dugout room in such a way that the bugs are all bottlenecked in their effort to reach and attack you. Building a bunker creates a solid foothold for you and your team and makes it so that all of the firepower is focused in on a single area, because that single area is, it's where the bugs are going to be entering from. Now, there are many, many practicalities of using a bunker. If your environment is very chaotic, and you need a spot to defend from a swarm, it's not a bad idea to have your driller dig your team out a cozy little space to defend from. Bunkers are also used for the ending portions of mule repair missions where you must defend a small area for an extended portion of time. This has been made extra doable now that these objects that you're asked to defend have gravity, meaning if you drill under them, they will fall. All you need to do is have an NG patch up the ceiling for a solid bunker. This is where the problem comes in, though. There's nothing stopping you from having an engineer patch up all of the openings in this bunker. This is an elven bunker. If you wanted to, you could build yourself a little house and be free from all the danger. That is, until a detonator spawns. But with as rare as detonators are, though, the odds are in your favor. You are an unstoppable force, free to cower in your wet elven diaper, but amongst the community, you are shunned. It's not a stretch to say that this is a very boring way to play. While bunkers make for a nice utilization of the tools provided to the dwarves, what's the point of having a primary and a secondary if all you need are your drills and a platform gun? I believe this is the primary concern with bunkers. With an opening, an unattentive team can easily go down for a multitude of reasons. The bunker could be poorly built, a detonator could have spawned, and the driller could have failed to react. Perhaps a bunch of shellbacks would roll into the bunker. That should end that setup in the snap of a finger. Exploders could easily run in and explode right in your bunker and leave you all dead. There's just so many things that could happen to your bunker that could cause it to fail. That is, unless you've patched the entrance to avoid nearly all of those instances. The only thing stopping you from doing so is your own virtue of refusing to hide and cower. Dwarves are a hardy bunch, so luckily I've not been in many situations where the only entrance is patched up. Now, as I said earlier, this is a heated topic in the community. It doesn't seem like there would be much of a disagreement here, but you would be wrong in that. There are many people who swear against bunkers altogether, even if it's done the proper dwarven way, which is without patching the entrance. I myself dig bunkers all the time, especially if the team is low on ammo or, for whatever reason I don't have faith in my team's ability to comfortably handle an oncoming swarm. I am of the opinion that proper dwarven bunkers are an excellent strategy and a wonderful display of teamwork. There's something special about the whole team working together in unison, firing into an opening, creating a zone of total death and destruction where nothing survives. everyone in a claustrophobic room grouped up in such a way where one accident could leave the whole team dropped. It's super exciting. It makes me excited to play as the driller. The scout gets his fancy grapple hook to zip around with. The NG can place his platforms to make the cave more dwarf-friendly. The gunner can melt enemies with ease, and the driller gets his bunkers. In my mind, digging bunkers just comes with the territory of having two massive drills. They're not there for no reason, after all. One thing I've heard said about bunkers is that they make the game too easy. I actually agree with this to an extent. The whole point of building a bunker is to assist the team in dealing with a large influx of enemies. They flow into a bottleneck wherein which you could all fire into. This is the point of a bunker, and you're correct in your observation that this makes things easy. However, this does not make you invulnerable. As I stated earlier, many things can go wrong in a bunker. Many times it's user error. A bunker is poorly built. This may kill the team. Because the whole team is in the same tight space, there is much risk to using a bunker. You shouldn't use a bunker if you're not confident in its ability to withstand a swarm. As a side note, I found that if you are a scout, you are actually most useful outside of a bunker. This is because separating yourself from your team in a backwards kind of way puts your team at less of a risk. One accident won't have killed off your whole team instantly. This way, it would have to take 2 accidents. Also, Glyphid Wardens like to stay away from dwarves. A Glyphid Warden sitting outside the bunker could be a real problem. If a scout is outside the bunker, he may have an opportunity to kill the Warden and help his team out a great deal, because that Warden could contribute to them being overwhelmed and dropped very quickly. This adds to the role of a scout, making him behave more scout-like, because he can also warn the bunker dwellers if he sees a detonator. I really don't see bunkers as a cheesy tactic, but a practical strategy in many situations that requires a good bit of thought and care. On the other end of the stick, another critique of bunkers is that they're very dangerous. We have a yin-yang of critiques, and I also agree with this one to an extent as well. As a veteran player, I recognize the sound of a detonator very easily, and I know what to do when I hear one. The proper thing to do is to first look at your map and see nearby caves, and then drill to them for your team to escape out into. If you want to be proactive, you can even plan an escape route just for the event that this happens. The thing is, though, not all drillers are like this. I can't say that all drillers are going to build safe bunkers and, have the proper knowledge of what to do in the event that shit hits the fan. This is why I said earlier, if you are not confident in the bunker, do not utilize it. It's perfectly fine to break off a bit on your own, but a little communication could help out a lot. If you refuse to get in the bunker, make sure your team knows you're not abandoning them. Otherwise, this could get you kicked from the game. In my opinion, it would be an unjust kick, but I've heard from many people that they were kicked for this reason. Even though you are not bunkered with your team, there are many ways you could help them out, but sometimes the host just assumes the worst of people and has an itch to kick. I've never been kicked for this reason personally, but I still communicate with my team and let them know what I'm doing, just because it's better being safe than sorry. Also, I just like to communicate with my team regardless. The last critique I know of is that they're not fun. With this one, I think it depends on the situation. I myself have played Scout on a Hazard 4 when our driller got the bright idea to drill a bunker next to the fuel pod in a fuel repair mission. Thing is, he made the worst bunker I've ever seen. No choke point, it was barely in the defense zone at all, and the way the objective was located was on top of a short, steep hill in magma core, surrounded by dozens of other similarly shaped hills, and the bunker was in one of the teeny tiny hills. The whole team was in there. This was not the appropriate time or situation to have a bunker. The situation actually called for an engineer to place platforms around the objective, but he was in the driller's silly bunker. Despite my saying that they were all going to die in that bunker, they stayed in for most of the defense, and I did the vast majority of the work. It's a very fortunate thing that I had my scout decked out for solid DPS with IFG grenades and all. As I was telling them that I was out of ammo and they needed to get up here, finally they abandoned their bunker and began helping. The NG also placed some platforms, but that was after we were done defending, so that was useless. So I don't even know what he was doing. That game ended with me having the most kills, and that should never happen for a scout. Needless to say, that was not very fun for me. I like it when my team works together to overcome challenges, but in that instance, it seemed to only be me up until the very end. I'd wager it wasn't much fun for them either, especially after seeing the scoreboard. This was the case because the situation did not invite the driller to make a bunker. The result was a very pitiful room that received very little action because, I refused to wallow and die in that bunker like we surely would have if I decided to stay in it. This was an instance of a bunker not being fun at all. I can think of countless more. Another example would be when I was the driller and the novelty of bunkers was still fresh with me. I would build them everywhere, even when they weren't needed. A bunker in the wrong situation is a very useless and boring bunker. An elven bunker, though, is even worse. In the name of Carl, if I see an engineer block the entrance to my bunker, I will shave his beard. Nothing beats a proper dwarven bunker. When utilized properly, they're good fun. They make you feel like you have a larger IQ than maybe an expert would agree with. I love them. Some people say it's an exploit, but I can't even take that critique seriously because with that logic, drilling your way to the drop pod is an exploit. So that doesn't even deserve its own paragraph. Anyway, I've been trying so hard to get a cosmetic matrix core with Iron Cyclops for weeks. Weeks, man. I don't even want your stupid, bushy good guy mustache. I'm a dwarf, I'm not about that goofy shit. Oh, and how about that neon band? I love that thing. It looks so nice. It makes my gunner look like a wizard. Anyway, bunkers are great. Elven bunkers suck. Only elves seal the entrance. I ain't playing with an elf, okay? It's a complicated topic, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Hello. I'd like to thank you for watching this video all the way through. If you found it entertaining, informative, or discovered any sort of positive trait that this video contained, go ahead and leave a like for me. I greatly appreciate it. And if you'd like to see more Deep Rock content, I will be making some soon. Thank you so much, and peace out.